Chandler Bing, the king of sarcasm and hidden emotions. Friends Review Script. Today, we're talking about one of the most loved and funniest characters from Friends, Chandler Bing. But this episode collection proves that Chandler is much more than just the funny guy of the group. Behind every sarcastic joke and awkward comment, there's actually a very emotional and insecure person hiding inside. The episode begins with Chandler secretly smoking again, and the moment everyone finds out, pure chaos starts. Monica gets angry, the gang starts judging him, and Chandler immediately goes into defense mode with nonstop jokes. That's Chandler's biggest habit. Whenever life gets uncomfortable, he hides behind humor. Even when he talks about starting smoking after his parents' divorce, he somehow makes it funny. And honestly, that balance between comedy and sadness is exactly why his character feels so real. One of the funniest moments is when Ross talks about using humor as a defense mechanism, and Chandler instantly turns it into another joke. The writers of Friends were brilliant at showing emotional trauma through comedy, especially with Chandler. Then the story moves into one of the most emotional topics in the episode, Chandler's inability to cry. Monica becomes genuinely worried because Chandler never shows emotions openly. Everyone tries to find something that can make him cry, but Chandler keeps responding with sarcastic comments instead of feelings. The talking puppy scene is absolutely hilarious. Joey tries to create the saddest situation possible, imagining a three-legged puppy begging Chandler for help, and Chandler's response is still comedy. Instead of crying, he says he'd become rich because he found a talking dog. That moment perfectly explains his personality. No matter how emotional the situation becomes, his brain automatically turns everything into humor. But underneath the jokes, you can clearly see that Chandler feels insecure about it. When Monica says he might be dead inside, it actually affects him deeply. Later, he secretly starts reading emotional self-help books just to see if he can finally cry. And honestly, that's one of the sweetest Chandler moments ever because he's trying to change himself only because he thinks Monica deserves better. Then comes one of the best Monica and Chandler scenes in the entire show. Monica tells him that she doesn't care whether he cries or not because she knows he still feels emotions inside. She talks about their future together, marriage, having children, even growing old, and Chandler still struggles to cry. But the important thing is that Monica accepts him exactly the way he is. And then suddenly the scene flips back into comedy when Monica imagines herself dying and Chandler still not crying at her funeral. Her reaction is priceless, and Chandler's confused expression makes it even funnier. That's classic Friends writing. Emotional 1 second, chaotic the next. Another major storyline in the episode is people constantly assuming Chandler is gay. Honestly, this becomes one of the funniest recurring jokes in the series. Chandler gets completely obsessed with understanding why people think that about him. Every conversation becomes more awkward than the previous one. When his coworker tries to set him up with another man, Chandler's reaction is pure comedy gold. At first he's shocked, then offended, and finally weirdly curious about what quality he gives off. The funniest part is when almost everyone admits they also thought he might be gay when they first met him. Chandler slowly losing confidence during that conversation is hilarious to watch. Then we meet Lowell and Brian, and Chandler desperately tries proving he could get a Brian if he wanted to. That entire sequence perfectly captures Chandler's insecurity mixed with overconfidence. He always tries to act cool, but somehow ends up making everything more awkward. The soulmate storyline with Monica and Dawn is also surprisingly emotional. Phoebe believes Dawn is Monica's perfect soulmate because they have similar personalities, similar interests, and instantly connect with each other. Chandler tries pretending he doesn't care, but you can slowly see jealousy taking over him. What makes this storyline special is that it's not really about Dawn. It's about Chandler's fear of not being enough. He starts questioning whether Monica deserves someone better, smarter, more mature, and more successful than him. That insecurity has always been a huge part of Chandler's character. But Monica's response completely saves the moment. She explains that she doesn't believe in soulmates. She believes relationships survive because two people choose each other every single day and work hard to stay together. Honestly, that dialogue is one of the most mature relationship lessons in Friends. And of course, the episode gives us classic disaster comedy Chandler moments too. His terrible wedding photographs are legendary. Monica looks absolutely perfect in every picture, while Chandler somehow manages to look terrified, confused, or completely insane in every single shot. The photographer keeps asking him to smile naturally, but his face only becomes stranger every second. The drowning victim joke is still one of the funniest lines in the series. Then there's the Thanksgiving cooking disaster where Monica asks Chandler to help with cranberry sauce, and he instantly almost ruins everything. Even simple tasks become chaotic when Chandler gets nervous. And obviously, we can't forget the toe-cutting accident story. Only Chandler could turn a horrifying injury into one of the funniest scenes ever created in the show. The confusion between the toe and the frozen carrot is peak sitcom comedy. What truly makes Chandler Bing special is that he feels incredibly human. He's funny, but his humor comes from insecurity. He's sarcastic, but it's because he's afraid of vulnerability. He constantly makes jokes because silence makes him uncomfortable. Deep down, Chandler is scared of rejection, scared of emotions, and scared of not being loved. That's why his relationship with Monica works so well. Monica doesn't just laugh at Chandler's jokes, she understands the pain hidden behind them. And Chandler slowly becomes a better, more emotionally open person because of her. Matthew Perry's performance as Chandler Bing is honestly unforgettable. His timing, expressions, sarcasm, and emotional scenes are all perfect. He made Chandler feel real instead of just a sitcom character. Even during the funniest scenes, you could always feel a little sadness underneath the humor. Overall, this episode collection perfectly captures everything fans love about Chandler Bing: sarcasm, awkwardness, emotional depth, insecurity, romance, and nonstop comedy. He may joke all the time, but that's exactly what makes his emotional moments hit even harder. And in the end, Chandler isn't just the funniest character in Friends. He's probably the most relatable one, too.